Trying to do my Easter Monday live on the show, and I just had to have you on because today's trend mill topic is all about COVID 19 and the impact on the wedding industry. I'm looking at
Yeah.
some people deciding to still go ahead and have literally no one in the audience. I've seen a couple in Thika where, she's wearing her gown, they're doing their thing, but no kissing.
Yeah.
And some people are also choosing to postpone this. We've also seen Princess Beatrice from the UK and her fiance Eduardo Mozzi. They announced that they've postponed their wedding. What's
Yeah.
it like here in Kenya? Because I know you enjoy a huge clientele of brides, stylish brides. How's it going in your opinion?
So basically, the wedding industry has ground to a halt here.
Yes.
We have most brides have decided to postpone their weddings.
Yes.
For those ones, we're just waiting to see what happens, and then I guess we'll have like a big crash towards the end of the year when the situation is better. But we've also had brides who've called in and said, "Please, can I get my dress by this date?" I've decided to work with what the government is saying and have a small wedding of, I think it's a maximum of 15 people.
Yes, 15.
Yeah, about 15 people. Yeah, so we have those brides, but then we also have a lot of brides whose fiancés or future spouses are not local.
Yes.
So like for those guys, it's completely. It's just had to be postponed. But so far we haven't had anyone canceling. Everyone is just like, let's wait and see,
Yes.
and then we can reorganize our dates once we know what's happening.
Wow, that sounds like good news. That sounds like good
Yeah.
news. I thought
I think so.
I really thought would crash and burn. And you've mentioned an interesting point there. There's people who are traveling to have their destination weddings. You have your husband from a
Yeah.
different country or your wife from a different country. The business itself is not a cheap affair. And
Yeah.
there's a couple of tweets here on the timeline, which I'm so surprised to see. A lot of people are saying now we can finally get the tiny, intimate wedding that we've always
Very
wanted.
true. Very true. Yeah, I'm a huge supporter of that, by the way.
Yes. So you think this is a silver lining?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because then you just get to have the people who really, really, really matter at your wedding. Why not? It's a perfect idea, and then you get to save
Yes.
and put that money towards other things which are also important.
Yes. So the wedding industry, I mean, from the gowns to the cakes to the vendors and the people offering, different services for brides and grooms, it's been
Yeah.
hit really hard, and this is a global issue.
Indeed.
How are people in your industry coping with this? What other things have you had to do to stay afloat? Because I know this is usually the time where we have the expos in Nairobi and different counties. We have a lot
Yeah.
of designers showcasing their gowns and what men can
Yeah.
also wear. So, what are some of the ways that designers and the chefs are cushioning themselves in this season?
So we've actually been having some discussions. We have a big forum for wedding suppliers, and we've been talking about, is it the right time to market? Should we still be marketing? Should
Yeah.
we be quiet? So there's a lot of interesting conversations going on, but I think also there's that realization that there's a shift
Yes.
in the way people are thinking. So we're trying to come up with new ways to speak to our potential brides and grooms about what happens after COVID or what happens while COVID is still happening.
Yes.
But in terms of designers, lots of us have also shifted to trying to do our part to fight the pandemic.
Yes.
So many of us are now doing, including myself, many
Yes.
of us are making masks,
Yay!
protective. Yeah.
Yay to masks.
It's a good thing because at least it means that our people still have jobs at the moment. So
Yes.
it's a completely different business. We're trying to relearn everything.
Yes.
But at the same time, at least it's keeping us at work. And of course, we're trying to, while we're at it, maintain social distancing, keep our hands sanitized, etc., etc. But
Yes.
I think, yeah, it's sort of made us look at business very differently.
Yeah, I love that. And I love, that you're adjusting and you're also looking at the well-being of your employees. My final
Yes.
question would be a piece of advice on an emotional level to the couples who feel like, what a disaster. We started off as saying 20, plenty. Everything double,
Yeah.
double. It's going to be a great year. It's my wedding year. Lucky for us who attended at least 2 weddings this year.
Yeah.
What piece of advice do you have for a couple who's probably thinking all is lost? Maybe this is a grand sign to, maybe this is not the man for me. This is not the woman for me. What advice do you have for people like this?
Okay, well, I think I'd say that don't stop dreaming. I don't think the size of the wedding or how grand a wedding is what makes the wedding. What's most important is your relationship at the end of the day,
Yes.
and the beauty that's around that. So don't stop dreaming about your wedding, regardless of whether it's the big one or the small one, but
Yes.
also see how you can adjust and make it happen.
Yes.
Because I don't think the fact that COVID-19 happens is a sign of anything. If anything, it's a test of your relationship and how you get through this situation.
Right. Beautiful.
So
I love
I'd
that.
say, yeah, don't stop dreaming. Absolutely, don't stop dreaming.
Oh, thank you so much, Ogake. And I can't wait to see what you have for 2020. You know, the stylish gowns that you make. I just might get one for no reason, just to renew my vows.
Please, that would be lovely.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Spice Drive.
I appreciate. Thanks, Monique.
All right, you're welcome. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming. But what I also like is the fact that she's saying that, you know, it doesn't mean that you cancel the whole thing. I mean, you can find ways to make it work. A lot of people were talking about Princess Beatrice from the UK, saying that her big wedding at Buckingham Palace is not happening because she's always followed by bad luck. I'm like, not really. I think everyone is just trying to do the best way. To do this thing the best way that they can, or the best way that they know how. And you have to be safe, most importantly. And if you can save a little bit of money, why not?